In this video, we take a brief look at the special status of Jammu and Kashmir, which is embodied in Articles 370 and 35A of the Constitution of India. Article 370 was the basis of Jammu and Kashmir's accession to the Indian Union. At the time when princely states were joining either Pakistan or India, they had the discretion to join either Pakistan or India. So this Article 370 was the basis of the relationship of India with Kashmir, with Jammu and Kashmir princely state, which was ruled by Maharaja Hari Singh. The Maharaja Hari Singh signed an instrument of accession with India, and this Article 370 was a continuation of that agreement. The article, which came into effect in 1949, exempts Jammu and Kashmir state from Indian Constitution applicability. It also has many other provisions which we will discuss in the next slides. It allows the Indian Administrative Division jurisdiction to make its own laws in all matters except finance, defense, foreign affairs, and communications. So that Jammu and Kashmir state can make all of its laws itself, and it's not dependent on the Constitution of India, but the central government can make laws on finance, defense, foreign affairs, and communications. The Article 370 established a separate constitution for the state of Jammu and Kashmir and a separate flag for it. It also denied property rights in the region to the outsiders. It also had many other features which are getting discussed in the next slides. It must be remembered that the special status of Jammu and Kashmir state, the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir, has been revoked, and now it's been divided into two union territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. We have taken a detailed discussion. We have taken a detailed look on this aspect in a video entitled the Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act 2019. The Clause 7 of the Instrument of Accession, which was signed by Maharaja Hari Singh with the Indian government, states that the state could not be compelled to accept any future constitution of India. And the state was within its rights to draft its own constitution. So the state of Jammu and Kashmir was within its rights to draft its own constitution, and it could decide what additional powers to extend to the central government. What additional powers it was to give to the central government with respect to the state. And Article 370 was designed to protect those rights. In fact, a separate constitution was made by the Constituent Assembly of Jammu and Kashmir for Jammu and Kashmir, and it was in vogue until 5th of August 2019. It had many parts and many schedules and many acts, and we will take a detailed look at the Constitution of Jammu and Kashmir in a separate video. Article 370 embodied 6 special provisions for Jammu and Kashmir, which are as follows. It exempted the state from the complete applicability of the Constitution of India. The Constitution of India could not be applicable to the state of Jammu and Kashmir en bloc. It had to be applicable with the concurrence of the state government. The state was conferred with the power to have its own constitution. Central legislative powers over the state were limited to defense, foreign affairs, and communications. And if any other provision of this of the Constitution of India was to be applicable to the state of Jammu and Kashmir, this was to be done with the concurrence of the state government. And this concurrence was later to be ratified by the Constituent Assembly of the state of Jammu and Kashmir. If the Constituent Assembly of the state of Jammu and Kashmir did not ratify any law of the central government, then it would not be applicable to the state of Jammu and Kashmir, even if the government of that time concurs with the central government in the application of the law to Jammu and Kashmir. It needs to be clarified that the state's Constituent Assembly and government are two different things. The government refers to the government of the time, and it may concur with the state central government in order to pass any law, extend any law to the state, but this had to be ratified by the Constituent Assembly, which was established at that time for the purpose of drafting the constitution of Jammu and Kashmir. The state government's authority to give concurrence lasted only until the state Constituent Assembly was convened. This is the last point. Once the state constituent assembly finalized the scheme and powers and dispersed, no further extension of powers was possible. This states that once the state constituent assembly was dissolved, no further laws, central laws, could be extended to Jammu and Kashmir. However, these provisions have later been changed by different presidential orders and all. Article 370 could be abrogated or amended only upon the recommendation of the state's constituent assembly. Now let's take a look at what is Article 335A. Article 35, since Article 35 instrument of taxation was not a part of Constitution of India, therefore we needed an article to this effect. So Article 35A then came into existence, and Article 35A was introduced through a presidential order of 1954 to continue the old provisions of the territory regulations under Article 370 of the Indian Constitution. It permits the local legislature of the Jammu and Kashmir to define permanent residents of the region. It issues the local legislature is the legislative assembly, which will define the permanent residents of the region. That is, the permanent residence certificate is given to permanent residents of the Jammu and Kashmir state, and it is only these residents who can apply for jobs in the state, and who can have immovable property in the state, and who can reside there permanently. It forbids outsiders from permanently settling, buying land, holding local government jobs, or winning education scholarships in the region. It is also, that's why it is also known as the permanent residence law, and bars female residents from Jammu and Kashmir from property rights in the event that they marry a person from outside the state. If a female person from Jammu and Kashmir marries somebody from outside the state, the residential rights are lost, and she cannot claim any permanent residentship in Jammu and Kashmir. The provision also extends to such women's children, and if she bears children with any of such marriage, then those children will not be the permanent residents of the state of Jammu and Kashmir, and they will not enjoy the benefits of the permanent residence law. That is, they will not be able to buy land in the state, or have immovable property in the state, or have access to jobs in the state. While Article 35A has remained unchanged, some of the aspects of Article 370 have been diluted over time due to presidential orders. Critics of Article 35A say that the provision did not have any parliamentary section, and that it discriminates against women. That is why this Article 35A was later revoked. On revocation of special status of Jammu and Kashmir, this took place in 2019, and it was followed by a lockdown for a few weeks, and the government of India issued a constitutional order superseding the 1954 order. So the revocation of the special status was by a constitutional order which superseded the 1954 order. The revocation was not by the Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act, which abrogated the statehood of the state, but that Reorganization Act was a sequel to the constitutional order which superseded the 1954 order, making all the provisions of the Indian Constitution applicable to Jammu and Kashmir. So the constitutional order, which was passed on August 15, 2019, made all the provisions of the Indian Constitution applicable to Jammu and Kashmir. This revokes the Article 370 as well as Article 335A at the same time. Thank you.